From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, these songwriters will sing for you and me. We live in a country of music, and songs and stories are underneath all of our history and our culture and everything that we do. Each one of our singer-songwriters here today is part of the beating heart of American music and the tapestry of the story and song that's been weaving us together for generations. And we're so glad that we get to share it all with all of you who are watching tonight. In the before times, if we wanted to see a show like this, we'd have to travel all around the country in order to find all the people who were performing at the wonderful acoustic venues that are in every state. And of course, that would be a wonderful adventure all in itself. But tonight we're using the wonders of technology to connect with these performers and enjoy their music right here in our own living rooms. And it's an opportunity to see the best of the best all at the same time. So we want everybody out there in YouTube land to know that all of us here at Open Mic America enjoy spending time with each other as well as hearing each other sing. So in addition to each performer singing two songs for us, we're going to spend just a little time getting to know them better and maybe learn a little bit about the magic of songwriting and performing from them. And we hope that you enjoy it as much as we do. The lineup is on the website and it's also in the YouTube description below the video. And this time it is also in Capo Dave Williams' square. Very magically, he made it appear in his square. Capo Dave Williams is our founder. Now, sadly, we have somebody who had to drop out because they were not feeling well, and we're really kind of worried about them, and we hope they get better soon. And if they hear us, our wishes for their speedy recovery, and that would be Texas Dave. But the show must go on. So we are going to introduce the people who are here, and we're going to enjoy our evening. First, the team introductions. We have TK Tran, who is at the switchboard and is taking care of our YouTube live stream today, and he did all the sound checks for our performers. And we have Capo Dave Williams, our fearless founder, who will be our interviewer tonight. And then we have yours truly, Daphne Ramil, MC. And let's introduce our performers. We have John O'Leary with Abigail Arndt, who's his goddaughter from Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. You can wave when I introduce you. Great. We have Mike Tatarakis from San Jose, California. We have Steve Andersen from Alameda, California. Sara Glaser from Oakland, California. Jan Seides, and I hope I pronounced your name right, Jan. If I did not, you may unmute and correct me. Oh, she's not unmuting. Woohoo! 1 point for me.
Yes, it's actually 2 syllables, Seides.
Oh, Seides. Okay.
Yes.
Jan Seides. Oh, the points are now taken away. Uh-oh. Okay. Jan Seides from Austin, Texas. We have Cap Wilhelm-Safian. Did I say that correctly? Yay! I should know already. From San Jose, California. Tina Ross from Warwick, New York, and I think that's a first New York for us. And we have John McDaid from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. So now, without further ado, let's get John O'Leary and Abigail Arndt onto our virtual stage. And before they start singing, I would like to plug where they play live. They like to play at Club Passim, which is now online, but it is a live venue in general, at the Lily Pad in Cambridge, and they busk at the Boston Public Garden. Take it away, John and Abigail.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. I'm listening to so many different musicians, so I can't wait. All right, so this is Best in You. You know I'll always see the best in you. Time has come to move on from this dream we thought would last. We never got that far enough for each to get what we need. Despite long talks and second thoughts, we know our time is past. But I'll look back on this as just two lovers who believe. You know I'll always see the best in you. There are so many ways to view the days, the road we had to cross. I guess there wasn't trust enough that we could ever be free. While you and I identify so much with things we've lost, can we look back on this as if it wasn't meant to be? You know I'll always see the best in you, the finest and the kindest side of you. Know how we've tried, we've done all we can. You know how we've cried, facing the end. You know I'll always see the best in you, the finest and the kindest side of you. And I hope you'll always see the best in you, the best in me. You know I'll always see the best in you.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
What a magical voice you have. And beautiful song.
For sure.
Oh my.
Thank you so much. All right, so this next song is called "Nobody Loved Her," and a lot of people think that this is a sad song, but if you listen very closely, you may be surprised. She could be anybody who worked a local family shop, a small town flower store. She dreamed of more than just a life He was a nobody. He lived a quiet life alone. When he knocked on people's doors, they'd ask who's there. He'd always laugh and answer, nobody. But when he met her, he felt instantly like somebody had touched his heart. Nobody loved her. Nobody listened when she talked of flower themes and simple dreams and gifts that meant a lot. Nobody loved her. No matter what some people thought. Nobody loved the girl the world forgot. The girl who had a gift nobody got.
Oh,
like
that
it.
was
What a clever song.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Nicely
Who
done.
writes,
Wow,
who
that-
writes your songs? Is it
John
oh,
here writes
Wow.
songs, yes.
Nice guitar work.
Very
too.
clever.
I like that drop D tuning. Sounds very rich.
Yeah, oh, the,
what a pair
open
you
D.
are. What a pair.
Is that a drop D or a G?
Open D. It's a chord, open D.
Yeah, yeah.
Stunning, just stunning. Beautiful.
John and Abigail, that was wonderful. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful sound. How long have you been playing together?
We've been playing together, I think, for the past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your sound is just exquisite. The combination, the balance, and everything. And John, your guitar playing, wow, just really. You know, a lot of people play a D tuning, and it's just a way to get away with stuff. But you know, you're taking full advantage of that, and it's a fabulous sound. And with Abigail's voice, it's just wonderful. So let me ask you some questions now. Okay, a personal question first to John. The first song you ever heard in your life that just made you say, wow. Just
Well,
pick one out of the air.
I'm not a spring chicken, so we're going back to the 50s.
Sure.
And we're going back to probably Little Richard or Chuck Berry. 1955 was a rock and roll hit, and I was there, and I loved everybody. Chuck Berry.
Famous song.
Oh, favorite.
I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I'm trying to think of it. Good Golly, Miss Molly. I bought it.
Good golly, Miss Molly. Yeah.
I'm
lot
a
of
rock, I
energy.
started in rock bands.
Yeah. Wonderful. Abigail, same question. You're a lot younger, so we might not have even heard of the stuff that has influenced you, but
Oh my. I think the first memory I have of falling in love with a song and starting to actually sing when I was 3 years old. And I loved The Sound of Music. The Sound of Music was my favorite musical, favorite movie. And at 3 years old, I was at a picnic or birthday party, and I just belted out "Climb Every Mountain." And so I think
that's a
I don't know.
good one.
That's the
That's a
first song
good one.
I ever remember falling in love with. So.
Wonderful. I know that song and I know that album. Yeah, yeah. Now, you guys surely you have opportunities to do shows and things. The level that you're playing at. So, what kind of when you get a good show, what are the four corners of that? What does that look like these days?
Well, our best shows are actually at the Boston Public Garden. Like we played last night until 9 o'clock at night, and that's I think the best performances we've done around the street.
Just right outdoors, people just gathering and wonderful.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful way to make connections and meet all sorts of different people from all walks of life. So it's a really wonderful experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Have you recorded anything together?
Just live stuff, mostly.
Videos and stuff.
Public art and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, and we have a link to your stuff on our website, I hope.
You will soon.
Okay, well, make sure you send it to us, and we're going to publish it and keep it there and keep it updated. Thanks so much. Really enjoyed your music. Okay, back to you, Daphne.
Wow, yes, that was just quite the way to open this show. It tells well about what kind of a night this is going to be. And now we are going to go all the way from Boston to the West Coast to hear Mike Tatarakis from San Jose, California, who likes to play at various wineries in the area. And there are some beautiful ones like Clos La Chance, where he plays often. And as far as open mics go, it's Bogey's Pizza, where people have started to gather. Mike, you got the stage.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. This is great. And that was a great opening act. Thank you, John and Abigail. This first song is called Alone Again. You know, it's a song about life, and some songs about life have to be blues. On the wrong side of loving, on the right side of leaving, with no rhyme or reason for me to care. Our lives lead us apart, no way to make a mark. This time no winners will be found here. Well, drain me dry, throw me out. No time to think of what it's all about. My heart wants what it wants. I'm alone on this ride. Hold me tight, I can always say we tried. I said, drain me dry and throw me out. No time to think of what it's all about. My heart wants what it wants. I'm alone on this ride. Please hold me tight. I can always say we tried. Let's both love tonight before we say goodbye. Nothing more to do, just smile and say we lied. All alone in the dark, with no place to hide. Alone again, no room for pride. I said, drain me dry and spit me out. Way to think of what it's all about. My heart wants what it wants. I'm alone on this ride. Please hold me tight. I can always say we tried. Please hold me tight. I can always say we tried. Alone again. Let's say goodbye.
Yeah.
Great.
Good job.
Oh, Mike. I love your low voice, Mike.
You don't get much of that out in the world. A lot of tenors. I'm a niner.
So following that one, this is a song called Climbing. It's just another way of looking at life from a different perspective. Maybe a way into heaven, the steps rising from the floor, the handrails are made for climbing, but I haven't found the door. I went for a walk to see what I could see, journeyed to the top of a hill. A beautiful view awaits you and me, with many miles to travel still. Watch your steps towards ambition, reach for the future, never stop. Take my hand, share the mission, or be lonely when you reach the top. There may be a way into heaven, the steps rising from the floor. Handrails are made for climbing, but I haven't found. Friends, help us climb the heights we do, guiding all along the way. Life is the banister we hold on to as we rise towards a brighter day. Maybe a way into heaven, the steps rising from the floor. Handrails are made for the climbing, but I haven't found the door. There may be a way into heaven, but I haven't found the door.
Oh yeah, what a cool metaphor, Mike.
Our
Love
different way
it.
of looking at life.
All the hammer-ons.
Yeah,
Very nice,
oh, that
very nice.
too.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thanks, Mike, for those interesting and lively songs. So tell us what your process is for songwriting. How do you come up with the songs, the melodies, and the words?
Well, when I first started out, I wasn't much of a songwriter. Turns out my daughter is a poet. And after some cajoling and working with her, she started providing me lyrics. And I started composing songs from her lyrics. The first song is probably a 50-50 composition of her poetry and my working with it. And the second song I did myself. So I got better at it over time, but mostly I work from lyrics to the song.
I see. Does your daughter play music and sing as well?
Not really. She was in marching band and she was in percussion, which kept her busy. But other than that, no.
Okay, well, let me ask you one of these Cracker Jack questions.
Sure.
Your earliest experience playing an open mic, if you think about it, paint us the picture of what it was like and how you felt when you walked in and it was like people and stuff like that.
Well, I had a little bit of an advantage because I have uncles that have been performing, and so I was on stage, if you will, a little bit early. And my early music career was playing the cello. And in high school, I figured out that trying to take the cello to the beach to impress the girls probably wasn't a good path. So I started guitar. And then soon after that, started looking for venues to play when I thought I was good enough at it. First open mic, I would say that after I thought I'd got over stage fright, the good news is I used that adrenaline as a performing drug rather than one to unseat me. So I got through it, but it was really interesting how much all of that comes rushing back to you.
Where was that open mic?
It was in Santa Clara. It was a coffee shop that's been closed now, but a lot of Santa Clara University students would go there, and it was a real nice venue.
Thanks for sharing that, Mike. Thanks for your songs.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay, Mike. And I think I know what coffee shop you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mike and I are from the same state. There's a lot of us here from the same state, but there's a lot of us here from other states too. So that's good. Mike, that was a pleasure to listen to as always. And now we are going to stay in California, but we are going to go over to Alameda, California. And for those who are not from California, and Steve is going to roll his eyes at this because I say it every time because I'm so tickled by it. It's where all the nuclear vessels are. If anyone saw Star Trek, that's what they said about it. And Steve is a great songwriter, quite the wordsmith, and I'm really eager to hear what he has for us. So take it away, Steve.
Take it away. Okay. I've got this funny thing in the middle of my screen. I'm going to try and make it go away. Well, maybe it's supposed to be there.
What is it?
It says unmute myself, and I seem to be unmuted.
You are, yes.
Yeah, so I don't know how this works. I'm kind of a Luddite, and I'm really old. So
Pretend it's one of your audience looking at you.
yeah, it's
Fine.
yeah, it's not as good looking as the rest of you, but
Oh, and speaking of, where does Steve like to perform? He likes to perform in his house, and one of his trusty audience members is his cat. Just had to add that. So,
yeah.
Okay, now.
Actually, it's the only one. No, COVID has slowed me down in terms of looking for live performances. There is a group of other musicians that I perform with about once a month, and then there's Zoom things that I do. But going out and playing live, I just have not pursued it of late. Anyway, getting on with this. People always like to say that tomorrow never comes, and I like to play with words, and I just think that's semantics. That's rubbish. The truth of the matter is, what never comes is yesterday, because that ship has sailed. And I wrote this about that. We often stop to reminisce about many days gone by. Wonder how we handled them, and of course, we wonder why. Would life be so unusual if we'd gone another way? How would we be different from who we are today? Yesterday's when we used to be and how we were back then. Today's when we wonder about doing it again. Mistakes we made, they loom so large and fill us with regret. Things we thought we handled well, but left us deep in debt. Things to make us ponder why we settled on that course, and what we might have done instead to protect us from remorse. yesterdays when we used to be and how we were back then. The days when we wondered about doing it again. If we could just go back a ways and change a thing or two, correct our foolish blunders, knowing better what to do, anticipate the problems that to which innocence succumbs, how amazing life would be, but yesterday never comes. Tomorrow we can fix things, tomorrow we can change, tomorrow is the perfect time for our lives to rearrange. Tomorrow we'll exchange those sour grapes for some plums. Tomorrow's when we'll do it, 'cause yesterday never comes. Oh, tomorrow's when we'll do it, 'cause yesterday never comes.
Woo! Well, ain't that the truth, Steve?
Yeah, I got lost.
Oh.
The function of old age, I have senior moments. I forgot what I was doing.
For long, you'll only have yesterday.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So,
Just move forward.
That's what we all get.
my wife says, well, we'll always have Paris. I say, we'll always have yesterday. Okay. So a lot of songwriters write about, they write about love and relationships and loss and all that sort of stuff. And, I'll be 80 next month. I'm happily married. I have a, halfway decent life. And this is what happens when I try and write a love song. Where I was taken by surprise when I looked into your eyes, causing feelings to arise, which I think were clear to you. Well, this innocent flirtation prompted deep infatuation in the kind of situation where I didn't have a clue. Well, I should have been resistant, but instead I was persistent, using judgment non-existent as excitement quickly grew. You were a vision of perfection when I moved in your direction to profess my fond affection for you right out of the blue. My attempt at interaction got a negative reaction, denied me satisfaction, and left me feeling blue. Well, I never had perfected whatever was expected, and in the end I was rejected for not knowing what to do. I'm grieving, but I'm leaving, 'cause I'm through with all the weaving through the labyrinth of trying to be with you. Well, I'm stressed and I'm depressed. Sure you might have guessed about the dreadful way I messed up my first attempted coup. Well, if I'm to be sought after, there's some skills I have to master to avoid another disaster like the chance that I just blew. It would appear I need instruction in the ways of introduction and the fine art of seduction of the women I might woo. Gonna spend the coming weeks learning lots of new techniques, seeking some critiques on how I'm coming through. So if you spot a bashful introvert uncertain of just how to flirt, would be kind of you to not avert your eyes like so many others do.
Oh gosh.
I love it.
Clever you.
Yeah, I don't know if
I'm
you
very
could see us
proud.
all grinning over here, Steve. Yeah.
Well, does anybody know any 80-year-olds that can do that?
No, that is you have the most non-cliche rhymes of anyone I know.
Oh gosh, Steve. Steve never fails to amaze. The words pour out. It all rhymes. It's all right on time and everything. He is a machine, a rhyming machine. But now let me toy with him a little bit here, Steve. You're killing me, boy. Oh boy, that was terrific. I have to say it. Everybody was really, really smiling. Let's go back a few years to when you started, and that was quite a while ago. And if we subtract 80 from 21, that's going way back. And let me ask you about your first memory of a great song, something you heard and you thought, "Wow, that's great."
Well, there was this wind-up Victrola that my mother used to put me to sleep. So for the first 2 years of my life, I heard Verdi's Celestia Aida every night to make me go to. I had ADHD, and of course, putting me to bed was a challenge. But that wind-up Victrola, when I got a little older, I learned how to use it myself. I think I might have been 3 or 4. And there was, again, we're talking 78s here. There was a record that there's no way I'll ever know what the title was, but it was Boogie Woogie. And I have loved Boogie Woogie ever since. I have a collection of lots of different kinds of music because my taste is very eclectic. I'm not, just a folk music fan. I love lots of kinds of music. Not all kinds, but lots of kinds. So Boogie Woogie, there you go.
Okay. Next question. Name one performer, someone who plays solo, can stand up with a guitar and do what you do, the performer that does that you most admire and have admired.
Oh dear. I tend not to do favorites. So
I know, but you've got to name somebody here,
I
Steve.
gotta name somebody. Well, I do have a mentor that
There you go.
is responsible for a lot of my progress, a lot of my style. I haven't seen him for 50 years, but I went to the University of Wisconsin with him. His name was Phil Buss. And last I saw him, he was playing Doc Watson style, which I've never been able to do. And he was making guitars. And he was kind of the campus bum for a while. And
So you were contemporary with him?
he was a little older.
Okay, and so you ran into him. Were you at the coffee houses and stuff together? How did that come to pass?
No, it was at the University of Wisconsin, and he played at coffee houses, and I played at the same ones. We played together occasionally, but and we were in a we were in a rock and roll band at the University of Wisconsin.
The two of you together.
Yeah, we were both guitarists, and we found a bass player, and we found a keyboard player who was actually the brother of one of the Monkees, and my wife, my ex-wife, sang in the group, and
Name a few of the songs that you all were singing in the band at that time that were, your staple songs.
You're, you're expecting me to have a memory.
Well,
There was a Cream song that I remember we did.
yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but
No, that's good enough. We're getting the idea there. Any other names or anything jump out? We're looking for a little entertainment here, John. But people's history to me is the most fascinating thing of all. It's stuff that really happened.
yeah, no, I can't think of them.
Okay, well, all well and good. Keep coming back.
Oh yeah,
We
and
love you.
I would just like to add that I think I know a little secret about Steve, and that's that he has not been writing songs for very long at
That's
all.
true. That's shocking, but true. How long, Steve, have you been writing songs?
Well, I didn't play for about 50 years. I played a lot when I was in college and for a short time after that. And then life intervened, family, kids, all that stuff, and the guitar got set aside and ultimately just left in the case from, maybe the 90s until 2018. And I picked it up again in August of 2018 and started to play. And it was a few months after that I decided that nobody wanted to hear what I used to play, and I should start writing my own stuff because that was the thing to do. So it's coming up on 3 years now.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Thanks so much, Steve. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you, thank you. It all came out all at once, but it's been being prepared for a long time, the way I see it. So I'm glad you shared it all with us. Thank you, Steve.
Thank
And
you.
now, still in the state of California, we are going not far from Alameda, Oakland, California, where we get to hear Sara Glaser. And Sara likes to play at Michael McNevins Mud Puddle, or she did like to play there. Hopefully he'll start it going again in Niles, California, and also online in Nolani's Women's Group. But today she's playing for us right here, so we're lucky.
Yeah.
Take it away, Sara.
All right. Well, I wrote in 2020. I wrote a kind of a trilogy of songs about fire, and this is probably the most serious. It's about the California fires, and it's called "The Great Smoky Mountains." I've lived a quiet life, no one's mother, no one's wife. Put down my roots in the place I was planted. Old furniture, old photographs, hand-me-downs and bric-a-brac. I tended to the home I was granted. The fox, the elk, the bear, driven from its lair. The hawk, the chickadee, leaves its nest. Dry lightning's aftermath made a fiery path to our little town near the high Sierra crest. I never thought I'd see the hills of Tennessee. Never thought I'd be in the state of North Carolina. I never traveled east. Its land has come to me. I'm in the Great Smoky Mountains of California. Up with the red, red sun, orange moon when the day is done. Ash and embers drift into our dreams. firefighters sleep, standing on their feet, while the dragon breathes on the pines and the evergreens. When nature has a song, best to sing along. Her voice brings every child to the choir. I was silent in the corner. She grabbed me with no warning. My soles were soft. She set my feet on fire. I never thought I'd see the hills of Tennessee. Never thought I'd be in the state of North Carolina. I never traveled east. Its land has come to me. The great Smoky Mountains of California. A cot, a stove, a car. I'm living everywhere. From Slagger to Poker Flat to Angels Camp. Colfax to Jellicoe. Anywhere I go, I'm free and wild like a cinder in the wind. Never thought I'd ever see the hills of Tennessee. Never thought I'd say a farewell to California. I'm going east to see the land that came to me. The great Smoky Mountains of Carolina.
Wow,
Oh, wow.
very cool.
What a timely kind of a song, Sara. Wow.
Love those lyrics.
Gives you
I'm
the little
gonna-
shivers.
I need to retune a little. I thought since that's a fairly serious song, that I would maybe lighten things up a little by singing a song I wrote about death. So I'm going to retune a little here. This is a song I wrote after hearing a song by Richard Thompson. It was a song, and I misheard the hook. And then I realized he wasn't singing what I thought he was singing at all. But I thought it was kind of a cool hook, so I wrote a song around this particular hook. And the song he was singing is called "Dad's Gonna Kill Me," which I later discovered Dad was short for Baghdad. It's a song about a soldier. Anyway, here's my song. When I run out of lines and I'm standing stranded, mute and still, will I get the hook or be out there till it's curtains? Another way to go, just quit and end the show. Act 2 is done, 3 may not be worth watching. when the last few words have been spoken. When the fourth wall has been broken. Death is gonna cast me soon or sometime later. Be I an actor or a waiter, he'll come find me. Does it really matter when we exit left? Make our smooth or rocky segue to what's next. You know, death is gonna kill me if I choke and miss my mark, or if I nail it from the start. Death ain't no critic. To be or not to be is not the question. Unless you're counting on a resurrection. One day that little trapdoor hiding in the slats will spring open. Plain old plot of dirt has seeds waiting in the wings, ready for the brilliant show of springtime. And crocuses push through ice-encrusted ground to show their pretty purple crowns of glory. When the lights go down and the crowd is listening, when the moving color spots are glistening, I know that death, you're gonna kill me. But I've got some more to say, so I'm cheating you today.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Oh my goodness, Sara. Yes. You always have the most interesting way of saying things, Sara.
Sara, your songs are always thought-provoking, haunting songs, just things that get in your head, some of the things that you say in your songs. And I want to ask you, what authors influenced you? I know you must have read a lot to be able to express yourself in such abstract ways. So I'm asking about your reading that you've done that has shaped your thinking.
I feel like my thinking is more shaped by songwriters, I think.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'm definitely like a Joni Mitchell freak. I'm also a fine artist, and I really identify with the poet, singer, songwriter, and fine artist. And she says that her song, like she's primarily a fine artist, and she paints with her words. And she affected me a lot, and I feel like I always want images. Like in all my songs, I find images. So.
And your conversational style that's not easy to do, to be able to tell a story that dense and to keep it within music is not easy, and you do great. It's just and it's a very direct and very engaging. You can't not listen to it, and I imagine that you probably seek out the open mics that are the ones that are not noisy and all that
Right.
sort of thing, because
I'm not a belter.
it simply wouldn't work, and that's why I'm always an advocate of what I call a musician's open mic, where everybody gets that moment of silence, so performers like yourself can shine and not have to be up there with the bass and drums and everything else. And so
Right.
I think everybody probably would agree
Well,
with me
with
on that.
I was gonna say with the words, I really try to pare down, pare down, pare down, and I like when I'm designing visually, I over design to start, and then I pull it back, and that's kind of how I write songs. I overwrite. I'll write like I might write 20 verse, or versions and versions, and then I just keep taking out words, taking out words, taking out words.
Interesting. And what about your practice routine? Do you have a particular way you go about, honing your craft, as playing wise and singing wise? Talk about that a little bit, of what works for you.
If I have a gig, I practice. If I don't, I don't. That's
Oh,
generally, I'm not disciplined about it at all. I had 3 gigs this weekend, which is very unusual. I was part of the
what's the nature of those shows?
The Far West Conference. I did 2. It's a songwriters conference. I did 2 shows. So this week, every single day I went through at least once, everything I had to play, and that's pretty much it. I don't, if I'm going to be embarrassed, I will practice.
So you've got a lot of stuff going on. That sounds great. Well, listen, we really enjoy having you on the show and look forward to you coming back for sure. Great stuff, Sara. Thank you.
Thank you.
I second that, Sara.
Thank you.
Your talk of taking words out and taking them out reminds me of the stories of Michelangelo, who would just take a sculpture out of a piece of stone, something that was already just by taking things
Right.
away.
Like take away everything that wasn't the sculpture or the figure. Yeah.
Right, that reminds me of that. So beautiful. Thank you, Sara.
Thank you, Daphna.
And let's see, we are going to hear from Jan, and let me say it this time right. Seides, is that it?
Perfect.
Oh my goodness. Whew. Okay, Jan Seides, who is from Austin, Texas. And she is going to be performing on November 14th at one of her favorite places, which she said was the New World Deli, which is not at all what it sounds like. So I'm guessing it's not really a deli, is what I'm thinking, but
Oh, they serve food. It's just
Uh-huh.
that most of it is given over to the performance space, and the food is. I don't know that the cook would agree with me here, but the food seems kind of incidental.
Good. That's good for the music. I like that. So now we're going to have you take the stage and
Thank you.
take it
Do we
away.
not see that Jan's picture is frozen?
Oh, yes. She's coming back slowly.
Huh.
Uh-oh. Your picture is frozen, Jan. We can hear you, but we cannot see you moving.
Reboot.
Who?
If Jan reboots, then now you're
There she-
moving.
There she goes.
Now you're moving.
Okay.
It's very slow. Do you have a sign on your Zoom saying that you have a bad internet connection or something?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Actually,
And-
there was a sign that said her bandwidth was low, and there it is again. Network
There it is.
bandwidth
It's on
is
there.
low. It says.
So I think that's yours, no?
No, it says Jan Seides.
Oh.
Network bandwidth is low.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't have that. So Jan,
Nor do I.
a way to perform, Jan, and we'll just ask Capo Dave about this, would be just to go for it the way you are, because we can hear you, or possibly to just take a later slot and hope that your picture comes back if you reboot your computer and rejoin. Dave, Dave TK, Jan, where
Actually,
are we on this?
that would be okay with me.
Reboot.
Because
Jan,
yes.
reboot and rejoin as soon as you do, then we'll put you in whenever.
Okay, which means, I'm sorry, Jan, but we want to see you too, which means that Cap has to be Johnny on the spot here. And hopefully Cap might be ready to perform at the drop of a hat. And he is!
Yeah,
Bravo!
I dropped my hat.
He dropped his cap. Oh, yes.
I did not say that, I swear.
Oh, no, I said that. So anyway, Cap plays in San Jose. He's from San Jose, and he plays at two wonderful venues. One is the Poorhouse Bistro, and the other is the Art Boutique. If anyone's in the area, those are good places to go to. Cap, take it away.
Thank you. I love to busk too. I'm a habitual busker, but not lately because of the COVIDs.
Right.
So it's so nice to hear everybody. My good friend Sara Glaser too. You're in fine form. Last song I played, Sara, she said was really morbid. I just think it's ironic. Those are beautiful songs though. A lot of my songs are piney songs. They're mostly pining for a better world than we have, and often some are romantic and they're piney, and others are political and they're piney. This song is called Canaan Blues, and it was pining for both. So feel free to play along at home as long as you're on mute. A lot of good blues players in here. Well, I'm going down to Canaan land. Going down to Canaan soon. Yeah, I'm going down to Canaan land. I'll be there before the next full moon. I'm gonna meet a woman with eyes of green and a smile that's always painting a springtime scene. Gonna live that age-old American dream. Gonna share my life with her. She's gonna share her life with me, with me, with me. Yeah, I'll be going down to Canaan land. Going down to Canaan soon. I'll be going down to Canaan land. I'll be there before the next full moon. From Ferguson to California, we're gonna build a new utopia. Feast from freedom's cornucopia. Going down to Canaan land. Hand in hand, hand in hand. Yeah, we're going down to Canaan land. Going down to Canaan soon. Yeah, we're going down to Canaan land. Yeah, we'll be there before the next full moon. Brown, yellow, red, black, and white. Children of the rainbow, it's come time to unite. Your heart to see, that's the surest kind of sight. Oh God, children under the sun, we must learn to live as one. We'll be going down to Canaan land. Going down to Canaan soon. We'll be going down to Canaan land. Yeah, we'll be there before the next full moon. Yeah, we'll be there before the next full moon. Yeah, we'll be there before the next full moon.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bravo! You said to play, but I wanted to dance.
You could dance. You could dance too. The next one's a sing-along, so people have to mute and sing along. So actually, I had this Facebook memory come up, and it was an ad Sara made for a show we did 1,000 years ago at the Blue Rock Shoot. And before that show, we actually practiced this song so that all the different performers could sing it together. So she knows the words. The words to the chorus are ooh. All right. right, so you can sing along at home too. It's ooh. I wrote this song about, I heard a story when Obama was running for president. I think it was the first time, where Mitt Romney's company, Bain Capital, had helped to downsize electronics plant in Freeport, Illinois. And they shipped all the jobs in the factory to China. And the very last shift was to train the Chinese supervisors in their jobs before it left. So I said, that is terrible. Someone should do something about that. So I started thinking of all my superheroes, and they're all in this song. So this is called Freeport Town. Here's a sing-along part. Joe here, he's rolling in his grave. They took the jobs from the Union town, they shipped them back to the slaves. And all around here in Freeport Town, one to the crossed and betrayed. I'm hearing old Joe Strummer, he's banging his guitar, playing redemption songs neath the halo of redemption stars. And all around here in Freeport Town struggle the free and the brave. Of old Tom Joad is whispering in my ear. When you hear the hungry and the homeless, will you be there? And all around here in Freeport Town, wander the lost and afraid. I see old Mother Jones out marching in the streets. When we all get our freedom, we will all know all around here in Freeport Town, fight on the hopeful and brave. And all around here in Freeport Town, one to the crossed and betrayed. And all around here in Freeport Town, one to the lost and afraid. And all around here in Freeport Town, fight on the hopeful and brave.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful, Cap. Wonderful.
Did you
Nice
hear
job.
the choir? Did you hear the choir, Cap?
I couldn't because you were muted, but I can imagine it.
Yeah.
That's how I always hear it in my head.
Yeah.
One of my problems is that a lot of times when I write with harmony in mind. So when I play alone, the songs feel kind of naked, and sometimes I write with a band in mind. So there you go. This is all right though.
We were with you.
Thank you. Was everybody singing? Raise your hand if you're singing.
harmonizing.
All right,
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good. I wish we could have recorded that.
Well, I've heard you play with the band
Yeah.
Cap back at the Poorhouse, and folks, it's really something to hear, and it's really an anthem,
It
is
is.
what it is. And when you're talking about Mother Jones and Joe Hill and Tom Joad, you're speaking my language there.
Yeah. When I get the words in the right order, it's even better, I promise.
Yeah, yeah.
I- Go ahead.
It makes me want to ask you, it's something that kind of bothers me, is that back in the old days, folk singers sang songs like that, got involved in what's going on. And you're one of the few dinosaurs that's still playing the old stuff, getting the message out there. And right now we're in a time when we really need that. So I'm wondering if you're working on any new stuff, or what do you think about that?
I have a lot of half-written songs. I have like 3 that I never finished in time for Trump, so they're unfortunate. But I fell into all that because when I was 16, all my heroes were all the peace freaks and activists. They were all my teachers. Sara knows who they are. We went to Jewish summer camp together, and they corrupted us all thoroughly. And so Phil Oakes and Dylan and Joni, of course. Joni is, she's her own thing, but that's what I aspired to. For a long time, let's say people were less than enthusiastic about my writing style for quite a long time. And I just kept doing it. I took a 20-year break myself, a 25-year break from writing and performing. And when I came back, I had to make a decision whether I was going to continue, what I was going to write. And I don't really have control over what I write. It's just more just a reaction to the world I'm in. So I probably couldn't write a love song if I tried. Well, I've tried a few. I have a few. Maybe I'll do all that. My wife's sitting here, so. But they tend to get political right away.
Your songs tend to always be about something, and that's I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: if you had to name one song of all the songs you've ever heard, one song that you could say, you know what, that's the best of all the songs I've ever heard, just right off the top.
Well, I can't, but I know you're going to make me do this. But so I'm
That's the
going to
price of
say
admission.
Phil Oakes' song "When I'm Gone." That's kind of a perfect song to me, although it's and he has a couple others too. But
Fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
And
That's a good
anything
one.
by Joni Mitchell.
All right.
All.
Well, we sure enjoy having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Cap.
We
Thank you.
sure do. Did you know it's going to be Cap and his backup singers? You had no idea, right?
Well, I was hoping. I was hearing it in my head
Yeah.
because that vocal is naked without it. So
And thank you for your beautiful words too.
thank you so much.
Good to
Appreciate
hear
it.
you again, Cap. Maybe one day I can make it down to the Art Boutique when it
And
all
play-
comes alive again.
Play some violin on that.
Oh my gosh, I would love to
Absolutely,
do that.
absolutely. I've heard you play.
I could hear that in many different ways already. Oh my gosh, thank
Yep.
you. Okay,
All right.
might hold you to it. Okay, now we have somebody back who disappeared on us and we could actually see her video. Jen Seides is here and she's waving and we can see that happening.
Yes.
So without further ado, Jen, did I mention where you played? I think I did, but
Yes.
oh yes, the New World Deli.
The New World
October
Deli, which is
14th.
all one word. NEWORLDELI. New World Deli.
Oh, that's funny. Okay,
I
and so you're in Austin on November 14th. Go
That's right.
see her. And now we get to see you here. So I'm going to
Okay.
mute myself and take it away.
So this first song I'm going to do is from this collection. What this is stories from the Bible that you didn't get to hear. And whether you're religious or not, the Bible is part of our culture, and everybody knows at least some of those stories. So what I did was I took the spear carrier's point of view. You know, the guy in the red shirt on Star Trek, where as soon as you see him, you know he's going to be dead before this is over. And I turned it, it was a freestanding CD, and then I turned it into a book. The CD is in the back of this book, and it's got the lyrics, and I never can tell which way to hold this, and illustrations by myself and my friend Vanessa Lively. I did the line drawings, and she's a wonderful watercolorist. And so this song was the first one I wrote for this album that I didn't know was an album when I wrote it. This was the first person in those stories that drew my attention. As far back as I remember, I was always Rachel's sister. Sometimes I think that started before she was even born. She was lively, she was clever, and everybody loved her. And when the men came looking, it was Rachel they looked for, not me. I was Rachel's sister. Jacob saw her fetching water, asked if she was Laban's daughter, and she ran home to let us know, to make room for one more. I fell in love that night at dinner. He never saw for watching her. When the meal was over, it was Rachel he asked for, not me. I'm just Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written. Those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. They said Jacob was the trickster, but my father brought me forward on Rachel's wedding day, draped in veils upon his arm. But then Jacob worked the harder, and for Rachel too he bartered. Still, I thought I'd win him when each new son was born to me, Rachel's sister. But every night I'd hear her whisper, give me sons like you gave my sister, and prove that you love me. Prove you love me more. So then one night he did it, and little Joseph was his favorite. But Rachel died in childbirth when her second son was born, leaving me, Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written. But those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. Every now and then I wonder, is he still thinking of her? Though I'm the one that keeps him warm when the nights are cold. Did she love him as I love him, or did she just love to win? But she is blessed memory, so I will never know. I am only Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written. Those were the lives we were given. Here is the truth, not the one the old men told. It's the one one that I know. I am Rachel's sister, and it can only be told by Rachel's sister.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
Wonderful song. Wow.
I never thought of how Leia was thinking,
Wow.
it just never occurred to me.
Well, she was responsible for 8 of the 12 tribes. Those were her sons.
Right.
So, and she has 2 lines. One is that she's got weak or cow-like eyes, and the other one is just she's Rachel's sister.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's my form of gentle feminism. And this is not. I don't know what this is. I don't know where it came from. My daughter came out while I was working on it, and she said, "What is that?" And I said, "I don't know." Where are all the Gretas and Marlenas? And all the Mae Wests, where are they? No one tells the boys, come up and see me sometime. That's all out of style nowadays. But I still long for old-time steamy romance and satin gowns and stockings with seams and men that wear trench coats and fedora hats. I wish they'd bring that all back, 'cause I want to be a femme fatale. I want to be a vamp. I want to whistle like Bacall and have 'em all eating from my hand. They put me on a pedestal, competing for my glance. I want to be a femme fatale. I want to be a vamp. Though I am a liberated woman, sometimes I'd prefer to be a tease. And when I see those starlets with eyes come hither soft, I could pull that off, it seems to me. See? And men would buy me clothes and bring me jewelry and open doors and pull me out a seat and then stand by politely until I'd sit, enjoy my sparkle and wit, a little risque repartee. Somebody's mic is open like a femme fatale. I want to be a vamp. I want to be the party doll that upsets all their other plans. I know it isn't fashionable, but it's so elegant. I want to be a femme fatale. I want to be a vamp. Dietrich and Davis, they had it made. Mansfield and Monroe, hey, where'd they all go? Well, the women we admire now in the movies are all doctors and lawyers and chiefs. They don't flutter their lashes or swing their hips. They don't pout their lips or sit on anyone's knee. And if they're in some older profession, they've all been reformed by Act 3. They've given up their cigarettes and champagne. I guess we've come a long way, but I sure miss the day of femme fatale. I want to be a vamp. I want to be the boys the eye, call some guy my honey lamb. I'd have 'em all in a spell. I'd have 'em in a trance. If I was a femme fatale, I would be sensational. I want to be a vamp.
Oh my gosh,
That's entertainment.
Thank you.
that is, and you handled the open mic with someone so well. I was so absorbed. I'm sorry, I was just so absorbed in your song. It went right over my head.
I just knew I didn't have backup singers.
You do now.
Oh my gosh.
By
That
the way,
was-
speaking of backup, Mike, I was playing piano on your song. Or Cap, sorry.
Yay. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
Dave's going to get you now.
Okay.
Well, Jan, you can pull me around by my necktie anytime, anytime at all. And what I mean, you went from poignant, bittersweet to barrel house, vaudeville, music hall, and like I've got a feeling you got a whole lot of stuff in between. I'm so glad you're on this show. Those were wonderful numbers for
Thank you.
totally different reasons in different ways. And I need to ask you, you obviously very comfortable playing in front of people. Tell us a little bit about your background playing publicly.
Publicly. Let's see. My mother standing me up in front of the fireplace for all the neighbors when I was 3 so I could sing Moulin Rouge for them.
Ah, that's a good beginning.
Yeah. And no stage fright here ever.
So
She was-
go ahead.
I'm sorry. She was like my biggest mentor. I think she was astonished and maybe a little bit dismayed at what she'd wrought.
You just kind of took to it naturally. Mm-hmm. And what happened next after that?
Well, it turned out I had pitch, so the piano lessons that were only supposed to go to my older sister ended up coming to me, who her teacher pronounced way too young, but I was also a pest, and so, I learned to read music before I learned to read words, and
Wow.
the rest is history.
So you were playing the piano, and then when you started to play the guitar, at what point was that in your life?
That was, I grew up in Detroit, which I didn't appreciate at the time. I like it better now than I did then. And I decided I needed to travel. I really needed to get out of Detroit. And pianos are, well, they are now, sort of, but they weren't portable then. And so there had to be some way to make music, and the guitar turned out to be perfect. Also because I wasn't as adept at guitar as I was at piano, and the guitar actually gave me a place to hide while I fumbled around on the front of it.
Okay, and let me ask you this. Musical influences, I'm sure there are many, 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 but if you really had to boil it down to 2 or 3 artists that you really respect, that really gave you a lift when you listened to them and inspired you.
Okay, well, the influences, my mother was a classical music fan, and she had MS, and her vision was almost gone, so the record player was going constantly, and it was classical music and Broadway shows, and I'm sure you can hear that in my music.
Yes.
But the first person who really turned me on was Judy Collins. I woke up one morning and my clock radio opened up with the Farewell to Tabitha.
Oh, I know. I had that record. I know
Yeah,
that. Yeah, the
that-
Whales.
Yeah, the Whales followed closely by Amazing Grace in that crystalline voice, and
Yeah.
I wanted to be just like her. We went to see her in concert, and she was wearing a long green velvet gown, and I mean, okay, that's who I want to be.
Well, I believe you're just about there. I believe you're just about there. And any other artists that you would mention that
Paul
turned your
Simon.
head? Paul Simon, yeah.
Yeah, lyrics. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. Wow, thank you so much for coming on our show. Your music is amazing, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of that stuff that's in between those two. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I've enjoyed everything I've heard tonight. This has been a wonderful show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And there's more to come. Yes, it has been wonderful, but we have more wonders to behold. And we are going to have our first New Yorker perform for us, and that would be Tina Ross. Welcome, Tina. And Tina was telling us backstage, I never thought of calling it that, but it kind of is, that she performs with the Folk Project of New Jersey, which I've never heard of, but I'm going to look it up.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's been around for quite a long time, and they have weekly shows. Now they're starting to go in person. They have virtual shows, a great open mic. I also host a few things there. So I host the open mic and also something called Inside the Song, which is a new program. We just started it this past week. I interviewed Dan Navarro, and we just talked about his songwriting. And so next month on November 11th, I'll be interviewing Sloan Wainwright, and she'll play some songs, and we'll talk about her songs. And so it's online. That one's virtual.
Wonderful. And we're so glad that you're here with us today. Can't wait to hear you sing for us.
Thank you. So I just changed what I was going to play based on what other people were playing. So this came out of the pandemic. Knowing deeply, after seeing all the things that were going on and the protests, and that we just all need to see through each other's eyes and be there for each other. The weather's changing, the sky vast. Clouds cover, then the sun comes back. The sable night sky soon will pass, and we will cherish each other at last. Tender hearts will hear the cry, though some will choose to pass it by. It's not my trouble, you say, but please know why. It's got to matter, so we all fly. I wish I could see through your warm eyes. Let's clear a path, put your hand in mine, and we'll step into the fire and lift each other higher and make it to the other side. We'll make it to the other side. When our silence shouts that our work's undone, hear the call of the talking drum, bare hands on hide rough with blood. Can we come together as one? I wish I could see through your warm eyes. Let's clear a path, put your hand in mine, and we'll step into the fire and lift each other higher, make it to the other side, to the other side. The humanity that is below the skin of us all, it gives me hope. I wish I could see through your warm eyes. Let's clear a path, put your hand in mine, and we'll step into the fire and lift each other higher. I wish I could see through your warm eyes. Let's clear a path, put your hand in mine, and we'll step into the fire and lift each other higher. To the other side, to the other side, to the other side.
Oh gosh,
Beautiful.
how
Beautiful.
inspirational, Tina.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Oh,
So much to, there's something that became so clear to me was the idea of unity. There's so many fractions and so So everybody needs to do their part. That's really, not preachy. I'm just saying it would be helpful. So this is a true story, historical figure who's very inspirational. My dress shimmers green, an emerald drape, its edges scratch from grainy lace. My eyebrows, curious and arch, my patience worn, my patience parched. I mix my pigments, crush them with stone, truth ground into savage tones. I choose to draw a bloody knife, highlighting dark is always mixed with light. Damn this 17th century, I face the faceless enemy trying to steal what's real for me. I am Artemisia. I am Artemisia. Vindicated, I left my father's home, packed up my brushes, my will and shadows with brazen strokes. My heroines are freed, I paint their prowess, wounds and stories. Damn this 17th century, I expose absurdity. I will prove an artist's mastery. I am Artemisia. I am Artemisia. I hear the call of this stretched linen. It cannot speak, but I listen. I will this dry dye and oil to be defiant. We will not be silent. And I'll beat this 17th century. I carry letters from kings and queens. My patrons see my creativity, painting as a woman's allegory. I am Artemisia. I am Artemisia.
Oh,
Oh
wonderful.
my
That was
goodness. Bravo, Tina. How amazing. We've had several songs today about women not being seen, haven't we?
Hmm.
And that was one of them. Wow.
She was way, way ahead of her time. Incredible.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But
Thank
look her
you.
up. Look her up. But she is a tragic and incredible story. Yeah.
So powerful, Tina.
That was a hard song to write. It was one of the hardest songs I think I've ever tried to write. Took me a while, and yeah, it's very easy in a song to feel like you're just telling the story, And in as songwriters, we want to show the story. And so that was difficult. Yeah. So, but
Wow.
Wonderful, thoughtful songs, Tina. Very, very, a lot of emotion conveyed and everything. They were terrific songs. Let me ask you this: in the last 5 years before the COVID hit,
yes,
what type of events were you doing? What all were you doing musically?
that's an interesting question for you to ask me, because prior to the pandemic, I wasn't doing this at all.
Oh,
No, in August of 2019, I decided to go to a songwriting camp, Summer Songs, to basically learn to write for other people. I had dabbled in songwriting prior, but not really. And I met some people who encouraged me to go for this. I was a chiropractor and nutritionist. I was practicing at the time, and that's what I was doing.
so that's the first you played open mics around 2019?
Well, no, I actually, before I played the guitar and would cover songs and things like that, I would play open mics. And in early, I would say in 99, 2000, I was taking piano lessons, and my teacher heard me sing. I was doing actually God Bless the Child. We were learning it. He said, well, what's that? And he said, do you want to sing in my band? Because, I needed a vocalist anyway. I sang there. And I went and did that, and I was like, wow, I missed this. I started out as a vocal major in college, but never finished, and, went the science route to be a lot more predictable life. So then I did start writing and dabbling a little bit, and did some open mics, did some shows, played with my husband, who's a violinist and pianist, but really didn't. And then I went back to work and didn't really explore it enough, And so I decided I'd go back in 2019. So by December of 2019, I was retired from practice in order to do singing and songwriting, and then COVID. So I've been really just everything I've been doing is online. So in terms of that, and songwriting online, and just almost every night of the week doing something having to do with songwriting to catch up, because I feel like I have an urgency, and I really can't wait, So
your music has really blossomed during the lockdown because it made you focus. I think a number of people have found that. Some people have found that.
Yes, it was an opportunity in a lot of ways for me. Yeah. Access to people I wouldn't have. Like Sara, who's here, I was in a songwriting group with her. I would have never been able to do that if it weren't for Zoom, and John also, John McDaid. I was in a songwriting group with him. Never, he's in Massachusetts, I'm in New York. So
this has never been possible, and now it is, and that's the magic of it. Yeah. Well, those were wonderful songs. We really enjoyed having you on the show. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. Everyone's wonderful.
Yes, thank you, Tina, again. And I love your story too. Everybody comes to this in different ways, and it's very, very interesting and inspiring to hear all the different ways that someone can come to expressing themselves in songs that they write. It's really good to have you all here at the same time and hear it. And sadly, our evening is coming to an end, but not sadly. We get to hear one more person, John McDaid from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. And we never got a chance to ask you if there's a venue that you want to tell us about where you might play live.
Mostly these days I play at science fiction conventions.
Really?
Yeah, so the next place I will probably be playing is the World Science Fiction Convention in Washington in December.
Wow, that's unusual. Well, okay, we're going to get to hear it now. Maybe we get a little preview.
Well, this is my song about January 6th. Red pill, storm the hill, down the rabbit hole. non-stop cue drops. Enjoy the show. It's too late for the deep state where we go one, we go all. The norm, we are the storm. It's time to climb the wall. It's nice to breathe, isn't it? Said the juggler to the thief. Walking DC streets in the light of day, 10 yards ahead of the beast. Oh, you can wear your red hats and talk big and chat how you surrounded that campaign bus. But nothing you say matters today, 'cause the future belongs to us. In the dark night, do you feel right, or is there something that you miss? You climb aboard, sure you know the score in the grip of Thanos' fist. You've been talking loud with your MAGA crowd about crapping on the Senate floor. Yeah, the world can tell that you're mad as hell. You're not gonna take it anymore. It's nice to unclench your jaw, isn't it? Said Lincoln to the GOP, waving goodbye, wheels up for Florida. Finally free. You've been down so long it looks like up to you, and you learned to adjust. But nothing you say matters today, 'cause the future belongs to us. I got a space laser and a chilled spit laser, and my phaser set to stun. I'm done cringing, now I'm just binging, watching all those little piggies run. I've been sleeping long and deep, and better than the last 4 years. We're still in the, but we're shoveling it, and I'm managing my fears. It's nice to chill, isn't it? Said the bodhisattva to the press, to go for hours without checking your phone, able to catch your breath. Oh, they can scream and hype and giant type about the evil and the treasonous, but nothing they say matters today, 'cause the future belongs to us. Nothing they say matters today, the future belongs to us. Nothing they say matters today, the future belongs to us.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Mystified.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
When you're whistling past the graveyard, hear bones singing in the dark, don't you ever start to wonder if this whole world's jumped the shark? In the valley of the shadow, halfway to Halloween, we've been sold a tale of failure and regression to the mean. It's a dream of angel armies descending from the sky. They will come to end the madness, time for everyone to die. No more foregone Armageddon, no half-buried liberty, no more third act desperation, no descent to sunless sea. That's the way we used to do it, ain't the way it goes today. Put on your ruby slippers, 'cause the future's on the way. Well, we heard that bloods are over, saw the shape of things to come, felt despair on that day after watching Pickens ride the bomb. Now we're walking toward the future, learning how to do no harm, turn our back on hollow nightmares and await our final form. Act in the living present, like that old dead poet said. Don't you follow alt-white rabbits and take the time to feed your head. No more foregone Armageddon, no half-buried liberty, no more third act desperation, no descent to sunless sea. That's the way we used to do it, ain't the way it goes today. Put on your ruby slippers, 'cause the future's on the way. We used to cringe at heat death, genuflect to entropy, but now we know that time's becoming is emergent complexity. We ride Laniakea, tracing faces on the flow, poised between the void and plenum, as above, so below. We watch the light from the beginning, or perhaps it is the end, but we're in a tunnel of love, on a journey to transcend. No more foregone Armageddon, no half-buried liberty, no more third act desperation, no descent to sunless sea. That's the way we used to do it, ain't the way it goes today. Put on your ruby slippers, 'cause the future's on the way. That's the way we used to do it, ain't the way it goes today. So put on your ruby slippers, 'cause the future's on the way. Put on your ruby slippers, 'cause the future's on the way.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
John, a lot to think about as we go home tonight. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
I love the story songs, John, and particularly the first one. I'm hoping there's a bumper crop of, if you don't write songs about the insurrection of the United States Capitol as a folk singer, I mean,
What are you
come
doing?
on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
And that's wonderful. So glad to hear that. The other, both songs, great story songs. Let me pester you a little bit here, and let's go back a few years for you. You've obviously been doing this for a while.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. The first time you played music in front of people, like at an open mic or an event or anything, what was that like?
Well, the first open mic I played, I grew up in New York City. So the first open mic that I played was actually at Folk City.
Gertie's Folk City, your first
Yep.
open mic.
Back in
Well, that's a good place to start, folks.
1983. Yeah.
God.
And it was a great scene, man. It was still a really.
What night of the week would that be?
I don't remember, because I was going to grad school at NYU, and
Oh, gosh.
I just, it was.
Tell
just
us about the scene as you walked in and paint us a picture.
You walk in through the bar, and then there was a double door, swinging doors, and you go into the back room where the tables are, and the person who was running the open mic would take your names, and she would get up on stage, and every week she would say, get drunk early and play with a hangover. and that was kind of like all of the folks would just sit around and we'd swap stories and just hang out, and it was just a really cool environment.
On a good night, how many musicians would show up?
Oh my gosh, it went long. There might have been, 15, 20 musicians.
And it would start around what time?
Oh, it's been a long time, so I don't honestly remember, but it ran, I guess it started about 8, so it ran till almost midnight.
Yeah. And were they serving drinks in Gertie's Inn, or was it just coffee?
No, it was drinks. They
had drinks, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And they had a cover charge to get in?
I don't think there was a cover for the open mics.
Uh-huh.
For all the shows, absolutely, yes, but not for the
And
open mics.
if you have to think about it, what were some of the songs that the people were playing back in those days at Gertie's?
It was a lot. People were mostly playing originals, and there was a lot. There was a great group of people from a magazine called Fast Folk, and they did some. It's hard to pull it out of a deep storage, but the songs that they did were very topical and very much of the time. It was a very the early '80s, the Reagan era. There was a lot of response to the political environment.
Do you remember any folks of note coming through there that we might know who they are today?
Hugh Blumenfeld, who is later went on to he's recorded some albums. He was the musician laureate of Connecticut. He was the biggest name I remember, or that I remember. I mean, there were plenty of big people there. But
Okay, well, here's another one for you. If you have to name a person, a solo player you saw live sit down with a guitar and themselves playing and singing, that was the most impressive thing you ever saw a single person.
Ellis Paul.
Ellis Paul. I don't know Ellis Paul.
He is a
Ellis Paul.
Ellis Paul. He comes out of the Boston area, 1980s folk circuit. He's got about 15 albums, and he is
writing it down.
He is just a brilliant songwriter. Tina knows him as well. We both studied with him. His songwriting is just so crisp, and he is so thoughtful about the way he crafts lyrics that it really raises your game. Just listening to his lyrics.
Is he still playing? He's still.
Oh yes, yes, yep.
Do you know the fella?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. No,
I just get him to come on our show.
I just saw him last week at Cafe Lena up in Albany.
Oh, I know Cafe Lena. Do you think you could get him to come on our show?
I don't know. I'm not sure I know him that well.
Well, I got the nerve to ask. That's for sure.
Well, if you just Google him, he'll come up.
I'll be Googling him.
He is a real approachable guy.
That's the thing about what we're trying to do with this show. Is Bob Dylan famously said in his chronicles that when he started to play music, he found that he was part of an invisible nation.
Yeah.
All across the country, people played these songs and had these traditions and stories. And it's like we now actually have the way to put it together.
Yeah.
So that a person, I've been playing music for 50 years. I never heard of this guy. So that's the magic of what we have at our hands in our possibilities.
Absolutely.
But John, your songs are wonderful.
Well, thank you very much. This has been a great evening. I'm just so delighted to be here with all of these other great songwriters, and thank you so much, and you and Daphne for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for coming on.
You were magical too, John. And now, sadly, our evening has come to an end. And I would like to thank everybody who's played here. I also want to thank all the people at home. And I would like everyone to remember to check the website, openmicamerica.com, and see the links that these performers have provided, and you get to hear more of their music and maybe watch more videos of them. That's really a treat. If you like the show, please help to spread the word. We think that there's many, many people out there across America who would really enjoy a quality evening like this where there is opportunity to hear very special people perform and also speak a little bit about what they do. And the way you can do it is by word of mouth. There are posters that can be downloaded from the website, PDFs or GIFs or something like JPEGs, I don't remember, and just hang them up where people can see them. I'm sure you can figure out where. There are t-shirts that you could order from the website, all to get the word out. We'll be coming to you the first 3 Sundays now as we collect more and more wonderful artists and as this show continues to grow. Please check out your local open mics and some of the acoustic music venues that we've mentioned today if you're local to those places. And our next performance here is going to be on November 7th, always a Sunday at 5 o'clock. Alice Osborne is going to be our MC and Pete Summer will be the interviewer, and stay tuned for the lineup. And now we're all going to wave goodbye.
One thing.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
I have one thing that I forgot to mention earlier. Texas Dave wasn't able to be on our show. He was ill. And I just wanted to mention, I've put a link to his music on the website, and take a look at his stuff. And it's very unfortunate he's ill, and I didn't want to neglect him. He would have been on the show, and hopefully he'll be able to be on the show at some point in the future. But a shout out to him if he's watching or he sees his tape. You know, we're thinking about you. So
yeah, we're wishing you well, and maybe you could join us a different time when you're feeling better.
and thank you all, and Daphne and TK, and Daphne, back to you to wrap it up.
All right, so the way we wrap it up every time is we wave. We just all wave while TK stops the live stream, which sometimes takes a while, but you know, a little waving and smiling never
Can we
hurts.
do a Brady Bunch thing?
Ah.